It was 8:30 in the morning when I had that first cup of coffee or so, with those two mini muffins that were blueberry flavor. And it was 12:30 in the afternoon when for lunch I had that wild rice with that beef stew that Dad's mom made. I had at least 3 cups of coffee over 3 or so hours. Because I happen to like the taste of plain coffee. Although by today came around, I had just the back of that styrofoam drawing I was working on to do, just the back, for which I intended a simple landscape background. In order to make it visually interesting while still providing plenty of space to provide contact details such as my email address and phone number, as well as space to include examples of drawings I've done in my recent past. As both the front and back of this styrofoam drawing will serve as images to be used as a business card for the Tyler foams. I'm going to, I've already taken a picture of the front. I know, but I can't take a picture of the back because it was 9:57 p.m. by the time I finished it. I was at Mom's place. Dad brought me back to Mom's place around 1. I would say it was around 2 p.m. because around 1:30 p.m. was when I started packing nearly all of the styrofoam drawings at Dad's apartment unit into this big gray bin with a gray lid, all plastic. Within Dad's room. I tried starting with the largest pieces, but doing that resulted in uneven surfaces that I felt concerned, would lead to unnecessary pressure being put on all of the styrofoam drawings, some of which were a days-long to week-long effort to create of on and off work. So for my second attempt, after taking pretty much all of the styrofoam pieces out to get the larger pieces out, for my second attempt, I focused on creating even surfaces. Basically starting off by putting essentially same sized and shaped styrofoam pieces in first in order to create even surfaces that filled most of the floor of the inside of the bin. Essentially stacks, for the most part, of similarly shaped and sized styrofoam drawings. It only got a little wonky at the top because I had those two long L-shaped landscape styrofoam pieces, drawings. And then I had that long, thin I love steak styrofoam drawing that was so long that it had to be put in vertically into the bin. Wait, horizontally, I mean. Yeah, that long thin piece was put in horizontally. Balanced. Essentially between those two L-shaped landscapes. Drawings. And then there was also one cup-shaped drawing that had to be put in at the top, and then it turned out I forgot three rectangular styrofoam pieces that I put on top of clothes balanced by a disused TV in the middle of Dad's room. I took breaks. It was pretty much seemingly at random. Whenever carefully moving the styrofoam drawings caused me to break into a sweat, a light sweat, going into the spare room for a handful of minutes each time because I didn't want to sweat on any of the styrofoam drawings. In the end, that bin also ended up being where I put the unfinished styrofoam drawing sign into for the Tyler foams. Since at first it didn't seem like the best idea to me until I actually tried to put it in, and I was able to put it in just fine. By essentially putting it in on its side like I did for one of the rectangular blocks I ended up forgetting, which was a styrofoam drawing of Groot, the other two being some relatively basic drawings of each half of Two-Face. They're meant to be full drawings, both separate and combined. Representing each half of Two-Face from Batman. The basic reasons why it took all day to do that back side of that styrofoam drawing was because I had quite a bit of surface to cover. And at one point, both of each marker that I colored each half of the background, of which I decided to continue the pattern I established. At the front and sides of that styrofoam drawing, both of those markers, each one ended up running dry. So when I was in my room on my bed, I had to find a replacement for each of those markers. First, the purple hued one, then the blue hued one. And if you look at the back of that styrofoam drawing, you can actually see the point in which I felt it necessary to replace each marker. Yeah, I nearly managed to finish the bottom half of the back side of that styrofoam drawing before replacing the marker. Whereas for the top half, I couldn't even get halfway before feeling the need to do the same. As for Queen's Blade Limit Break, today was the day that I replaced Echidna with Izumi in a successful effort to boost up my power rating. I'm trying to look for the best beautiful warriors to use in my team before deciding to do anything more permanent with them, like ranking them up. Those sort of things. I'm currently at level 50, and I'm not sure if I unlocked any significant new features ever since I was level 40 at least according to my recollection.